What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you all about my second trimester, and that's so crazy because I feel like I just filmed my first trimester recap video and now I'm filming my second trimester recap. The first trimester totally took it out of me and I am feeling so much better than I did in that first trimester. So now I want to talk to you about the second trimester. Right now I am 1 week into my third trimester and I want to make this video now because pregnancy brain is really getting the best of me and I don't want to forget anything about the second trimester because I feel like the second trimester went by so quickly. So many things happened, but it was just like, I don't know, it felt like the blink of an eye to where now that I'm in the third trimester, I'm kind of just nervous that the third trimester is going to go by that quickly too, and then all of a sudden he's going to be here and I'm going to be like, where the heck did the time go? So I'm going to start at the beginning of the second trimester, which I think is 13 or 14 weeks, and around that time I was still pretty sick. If you watched my first trimester recap video, I felt super sick the entire first trimester, totally not myself, and that bled into the first few weeks of the second trimester. I would say that I probably didn't start like physically feeling better until 18 weeks, and it felt like a light switch. Like it felt like I just went one day from being totally feeling like crap and wanting to throw up, and then the very next day I was totally fine, able to make food, think about raw meat and not want to throw up, all that kind of stuff. I feel like it just flipped one day, and then from that day everything was fine in the second trimester as far as like how I physically felt. Once I started feeling better, I felt like I started noticing my body changes a little bit more. I'm going to apologize. I am so out of breath. I felt like in the second trimester, I started noticing body changes a little bit more. Like once I hit 18 weeks and I started feeling better and feeling like my normal self again, it took some time to get back into a routine of like cooking and cleaning and daily tasks and things that I wanted to do, because in the first trimester, I was just MIA, and so it took me a little bit of time to get back into a normal life routine, and that honestly probably took the entirety of the second trimester. I really spent a lot of time trying to figure out like, what do I do now? I felt like, I don't know, I was just so focused on being pregnant and I felt so crappy. And so I didn't know what to do with myself when I started feeling energized again. I think I felt like, it's hard to explain, but I was just kind of like, oh, well now I feel like myself again, so what do I do? And I felt like I was twiddling my thumbs for those first few weeks. And then everything started feeling super real because from a physical perspective, I started showing. And that was really interesting for me. I was really excited to start showing, really excited to like, I don't know, have that baby bump. I've always dreamed about having that baby bump, and you know, you see pregnant women and they look so beautiful and glowing, and I've always dreamed of that day for myself. But as time progressed, I felt like I was just hating my body more and more and more. A lot of that I think had to do with the fact that I wasn't prepared for a growing body, and I still am not prepared for a growing body. Like the sweater that I am wearing currently is not a maternity sweater, so my belly definitely hangs out of it. But I didn't like prepare enough from a clothing perspective, and I think I wish I would have done that. Like I wish I would have bought more maternity clothes or just like oversized sweaters or things that would fit me, because I love clothing and I love getting dressed, and it sounds so girly, but like I just love making a really cute outfit happen. And I have all of like 4 sweaters from my before pregnancy that like fit. I was wearing the same sweaters every single day, and I think it just made me feel sad because I didn't feel like I looked cute. I don't know if I was necessarily like upset that I had a big bump or anything like that. I was just more like wanting to feel cute, and I felt so blah. As the bump has grown and even into my third trimester, I just feel like, I don't know, I recently got maternity clothes and they're on their way, so like maybe I'll feel a little bit better after that. but I just felt, I don't know, gross, if that makes sense. Especially like going through those awkward stages with your bump where your bump's like half there, half not. Is she pregnant? Is she not pregnant? I wish that I would have had a little bit more clothing that fit me in that second trimester. Right around 20 weeks was probably when the bump was like the most awkward. That was also a really exciting time in our second trimester because 20 weeks is when you get your anatomy scan done. So we were able to go see him on the ultrasound, and we hadn't seen him since 9 weeks. And that was the only other ultrasound that I had. Right around 20 weeks, even though I was struggling with the whole like this bump feels awkward, I felt, I don't know, just more excited, more happy, definitely because I had more energy. And then getting to like see him move around and look like an actual little baby and not just like a little Lego man or something. It was so fun. He was head down at our 20-week scan, and the scan itself took like 10 minutes because he was just an angel baby. I know I'm biased, but he was just a little angel baby for the tech. She said he was measuring in the 75th percentile for all the things. He was head down, and he's been very squirmy and very active. And so towards the end, she had a really hard time getting some photos of his head, but ultimately she was able to. He calmed down after a little bit. He's just a very squirmy baby. Also around that time, we picked out his name. The way that we picked out his name was typical Sam and Sam fashion. I don't know. I feel like sometimes we overthink things and then we underthink things and then we don't come to this conclusion. I think we were just like sitting there watching Yellowstone or something. No, maybe Yellowstone wasn't on. I don't know. We were just like sitting on the couch and we muted the TV and we were like, we are gonna come up with his name. And we sat there and we just spit names back and forth at each other. It was mainly like me saying something and Sam was just like quiet and he was like, eh. And then he would say something and I would be quiet and be like, eh. And then Sam said a name and I was like, that's it. And we'd probably been doing it for like an hour and a half at that point. And he was like, okay. And that's how we decided. And I think for a few weeks after that, it felt weird. We started like calling him his name more. And it felt really weird at first, I think, to call him his name. So at first I was kind of like, is this his name? Like, is this the right name that we chose for our baby? But I think I just felt weird because we had been calling him Baby Lane for so long. And now, like, it's definitely his name. In my head, I thought I was going to do it in the third trimester, but having his name and like using it for the past few weeks or few months at this point has really solidified him. I feel very close to him and very connected to him. And it was just typical Sam and Sam fashion. Like, it was just like, yeah, that works. We didn't even look up the meaning of his name. I don't even know if I know the meaning of his name, so maybe I should look that up. But it doesn't have like any meaning. I just like the name and Sam likes the name. So we've had his name since about 20 weeks and now it's just really settling in and we call him by his name. That has been really beneficial for me because also in the second trimester, I started my childbirth class. So if you watch my first trimester recap video, I am planning on going to a birthing center and doing a natural birth. And so if you are doing a natural birth as like a first time mom, they do require you to take a childbirth class. So we started our childbirth class at the end of the second trimester. I am doing like a hypno babies class. So it's, you know, hypnosis techniques. I was really kind of hesitant about trying hypnosis. It sounds very, just not my style. I don't know. It just sounded weird to me. Like hypnosis is just one of those things where I was kind of like, but it has been a really good class. We're about halfway done with it now. We've got until like the third week of February is when it'll end, I think. And it has been really good. I feel like I've been able to practice a lot of just soothing, peaceful techniques, and having his name has been really crucial for me because kind of in my head, You know, a lot of the things they talk about in these like hypnosis classes is just really getting yourself into like a mental space where you're like really connected with your baby and you're in a safe space. So, you know, things that are going to happen and however birth goes, you're just kind of like in this safe space with your baby and it's peaceful. I have just really enjoyed it. I feel like I'm like flexing a new muscle that I have never flexed before. And I will talk more about hypnobabies and the childbirthing classes in a later video, so stay tuned for that because there's a lot more to talk about, just things we learn and all that kind of stuff. Having his name like really solidified a relationship for me, because a lot of the times when you try to get yourself into like a nice soothing mental headspace, like you're supposed to, you know, be there physically with your baby and be in your safe space with your baby. And so for me, it's been really nice to have his name because I'll just kind of like talk to him in my head, create this bond. And it's been really cool because it's like the more I talk to him in my head, the more he moves around. And it's just been the second trimester. I feel like I've just like experienced all of these wonderful emotions of attachment towards him that I really didn't feel like I could feel in the first trimester, just because I felt so awful both mentally and physically. And now that I'm in the second trimester and I'm practicing all of this like mindfulness and just really like being there and stretching and exercising and like mentally being there for my baby, it's really allowed me to connect with him and feel really attached to him. I'm just so excited, and having his name solidified really helped me form that bond and form that attachment. We also obviously had a lot of holidays through the second trimester because my second trimester was like October, November, December. In that time, saw all of our friends and family, so we got to share his name with all of our friends and family. It felt really good to just see people again and hug our family and our friends and talk about, you know, our little baby. And it felt really good. Like it felt just like a lot of bonding happened in the second trimester, which was just really good for me mentally. And the holiday season went by so quickly, ridiculously fast. I can't even believe that Thanksgiving and Christmas is over and we're like almost done with January at this point. Towards the end of the year and heading into this third trimester, something a little bit stressful happened. We found out, well, I guess we kind of knew before the appointment, but we found out that he is lying in a transverse position. So he's not breech, or maybe it is considered breech. So he's completely sideways right now, and sometimes he'll like stick his butt out and my right side will like totally project. And then sometimes he'll stick his head out and my left side will project. And that has been really uncomfortable. I have been so uncomfortable because he's kind of stretching my belly in, you know, like a side to side manner. So my sides are like in excruciating pain, and my hips. Obviously I need him to be head down for me to be able to give birth at the birthing center because you have to be a low risk patient. I just started doing stretches towards the end of the second trimester to get him into a head down position. And it's not fun. You know, like there are more fun things in life. I just feel like I'm waiting for him to flip at this point. My biggest concern is going in and having a C-section. Honestly, my big concern for that is because I have a keloid condition, which I don't know if you can see, but my scars turn into keloids. Keloid scars are just very painful and uncomfortable. I have a big one on this shoulder and I've talked about it in a previous video, but it's really uncomfortable and really painful. Having major surgery is just something that I'm really nervous about, and I've been praying really hard that he flips because it is just really uncomfortable. And our doula even told us that people who have transverse babies are super uncomfortable because when baby stretches, it stretches this way and it's totally uncomfortable right now. You know when you can like feel in your body where you're just like something it feels out of place and it feels misaligned. Like he feels misaligned right now. So I've been trying to like, you know, put him in the right position and help him out to like get to a head down position. I don't know. I just feel, it feels like tight and he doesn't want to move, and so I've got to like loosen up my muscles so that he wants to move. Altogether, I really can't complain about the second trimester. It was beautiful compared to the first trimester. I was able to do a lot of bonding with Sam on an emotional level because I felt like I was just so emotionally absent as a wife in that first trimester, which really made me feel defeated. I felt even more depressed and guilty because of the things I wasn't able to do or I wasn't accomplishing as Sam's wife, and he was really having to take over. And I know that that's what marriage is all about, but it still made me feel like deadbeat in a way. I felt like I could just connect more with Sam, have more conversation with him, and not feel sick all the time and not even want to talk. In the second trimester, I was really able to, connect with Sam, and we were able to go out and do things that we really love to do together. That just felt so nice because I love him. He's so cool, It felt really nice to feel like his wife again and feel like an equal part in our marriage. And I know growing a baby is such a huge task, but I felt so awful that I didn't feel like an equal. Like I felt like a dud, even though I was growing a baby. I felt like such a dud. So altogether, it was a super busy trimester with the holidays and feeling better and having the energy to do a lot of stuff. We did a lot of stuff in the second trimester. The third trimester, I'm only like a week into it, and I'm definitely having some struggles, and I will talk about that more in my third trimester video. It's true what they say, second trimester is bliss. At least it was for me. I know that's not the case for everybody, but it was honestly really, really great, and the only thing I'm really struggling with is the position that he's currently in, but we are working through that. It's been a great 3 months. We've got, 3 more months technically, and I will create a third trimester recap video and talk about all the things that I go through in the next 2.5 to 3 months and keep you guys updated. Hopefully this was like a little bit more of a joyful video, because I loved the second trimester. It was great. It was bliss. Thank you guys for watching this little recap video. It's fun updating you on all of this pregnancy stuff. I still can't believe that I am pregnant. I will just keep you guys updated. There's a lot of stuff going on in this third trimester, and I will make videos throughout and share life with you guys. I love you guys so much, and I'm so thankful that you're here. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you really soon. Bye, guys.